So good morning. I am back again with a wonderful teaching. I woke up this morning just thinking about everything that has been going on, just kind of centered and focused about what is the whole purpose of everything that has been occurring since it was announced that we have a pandemic, a virus. I believe that we have a common purpose that has been neglected by us as human beings, as a species of people, as one big global species, one big global family. There's been so many areas where we've been divided. We've divided over color of our skin. We're divided over our political parties. We're divided based on our religion. We're divided based on where we come from. If you leave it to us as people, we will find something to create separatism, something that makes us different, instead of looking for the thing that makes us all the same. We are all one human species, all one God's created beings. And yes, there are a lot of spiritual and conscious beliefs out there about there are aliens on the earth. Even in the Bible, it talks about aliens amongst us. At the core, fundamental, I'm thinking about our metabolic makeup, our physical structure of who we are, and the way that this virus is able to attach itself and mutate. It attaches to a certain type of host, and it looks for morbidity. It looks for a dying host, a dying body, a dying system, a dying place. And if you look at our systems that run our world and the systems of the human body, and you look at the systems of the world, you will see various systems that are dying, various thought processes that are antiquated, various parts of our life where we need to change. And I think in many ways, this virus has come to make us evaluate our purpose, not to continue to find a way to be divided against the mask wearers and the non-mask wearers. Those that are believe that it was a conspiracy versus those that don't believe that there is a conspiracy. Those that are on the side of 5G, those that are not on the side of 5G. These things are the same continuum and the same mindset that I believe ushered in this disciplinary function of the virus. I believe that we make ourselves physically susceptible to things based on the way of our thinking. I believe that our minds have to be fixed in a certain way, that we are not lulled to sleep or rocked to sleep or hypnotized by false doctrines and false ideologies and false philosophies, but we think for ourselves. Freedom is in our ability to think for ourselves. Freedom is in our ability to make choices. Now, that freedom doesn't mean that you make choices that harms others, but sometimes it might. We're not talking about destroying the world. None of that. We're talking about finding your spirituality and living from a kingdom that is within you called peace. There is a place where we can abide within. And when we live from that place, the choices we make from that place will bring life and abundance. I think my biggest message in this whole time is about, have I been with me? Have you really been with you, or have you been with everyone outside of you? Have you been with everybody but yourself? And Nancy Wilson sings a song that you might want to look up. I've never been to me. I've never actually spent time in the flow with myself. I've entertained a lot of people. I've entertained a lot of thoughts. I've entertained a lot of things, but I've never been to me. And so my message that comes out of this is there is a collective purpose amongst us. There's a collective purpose. There's a collective way for us to all inherit completeness and wholeness. But if we continue to look for separatism, if we continue to look at the us versus them, if we continue to seek out ways in which we're different, we will destroy ourselves. As a man thinketh in his heart, in his mind, so is he. We just got to be careful about how we are interpreting, computing this pandemic. Our foundational thought processes are key to everything. And I believe that we are in a place where we are required to make system upgrades. You heard what I said? System upgrades, upgrades to all of the technology that we have possessed over the years, all of the parts and pieces. Now, just as an analogy, if you go to people's houses, you're probably going to still find VCRs. You're going to find older DVR systems and old DVD players, and you're going to find a lot of old technology. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with that technology, but that technology cannot run the new technology. The new technology cannot run the old technology. I think that there are some old things that are still relevant and good and necessary as foundational principles for us to build successfully off of. But I also think that we have to open our minds to new technologies that can be adapted, that are not harmful to us, but are adapted. Now, I'm not talking about 5G or a technological company. I'm talking about the way you think, the way you process, the way your body feels, what you eat, what you digest, what you take into your computer, your brain, your mind, your system, what you allow in your spirit, what you allow people to say over you, around you, in front of you, the things that you allow to come into your hearing and to your ear and eye gates, the things you allow to come out of your mouth. I'm talking about those systems, and I'm simply using an analogy. We have a common purpose to protect one another. We have a purpose to love one another. We have a purpose to grow up and mature in stature, in things. Those areas of our lives that have lied dormant where we have not worked on them at all. I think it's important for us to get into the flow. It's important for us to understand what Jerusalem is. It's the manifestation of peace. It's the dwelling place of peace. It's the city of peace. And that peace is within. Have you really been to yourself? Have you really gone within? Have you really traveled deep within the dimensions of your heart and mind and explored the most inner, most intimate parts of yourself? Have you traversed places that are dark within you? Now, darkness doesn't always mean something is bad. It doesn't. It doesn't always mean something's bad. Because we know darkness was upon the face of the deep. Is that right? So those were places of unexplored. That's an unexplored. And then you have to speak with your mouth. Let there be light in this place. Allow me to illuminate myself. Allow me to bring the light to this situation, this circumstance, this way of thinking, this behavior, this attitude, this mentality. I challenge you to travel into those places this morning. And I want us to come to a continuous realization of spiritual power that is tempered by spiritual poise and confidence. I will say that again. At the end of this journey, I want you to come to this place where you live in Jerusalem, the peace, the habitation of peace, and you get to a continuous realization of your spiritual power that's tempered by your spiritual poise and confidence. This is just a message to remind us that we are here together, and we should not spend all of our time looking for who's at fault. We should not spend all of our time trying to separate ourselves and join party lines. We should join with ourselves inside. We should join with our God on the inside. We should join in the place of peace. And we need to use all of our spiritual power to create a better life, a better world, a more inhabitable place where the glory of God can sincerely and truly develop. We need to find the law of life, this law of complete manifestation of the greatness that is on the inside of each one of us individually. My question to you, again, have you been truly to yourself? Have you found you? Listen to the song. Nancy Wilson, I've never been to me. I've never been to me. Guess what? Completeness and wholeness are your birthright. Fight for it. Fight for oneness. Fight for wholeness. Fight for completeness. Let your war be about that. Fighting for yourself. Preparing on the inside for an external appearing, for an emergence. Prepare for an unfoldment in your life to happen. It's in you. Awaken, awaken, awaken to the kingdom that is within you, the principles. Awaken to that. And if you go searching and you find something that is not worthy, speak to it. Speak light. Speak life over it. All right. Have a wonderful week. Listen to this message. Don't fight one another. Fight for one another. Fight for one another. This is Francine. I love you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful month. Bye-bye.